All right, so for our next assignment, we are going to get into essay writing, and I'm going to post this in the stream. You guys are going to pick a topic, and I'm going to show you where some of your options are. We're going to do a little bit of research, talk about what makes a good source and a bad source. So we'll get into that a little bit more next week. But this is a really awesome chart that I think shows you what kind of sources you are dealing with. So on this side, you're going to have sources that are a little more conservative, that side with conservative ideas. And on this side, you're going to see more liberal. And it's just important to know where these things fall. So you'll see like CNN is here. Let's see. NPR, some things that I'm just pointing out that I feel like you would know. ABC News, CBS News, local newspapers it has up here. So essentially, the way that this works is up here, they are saying you have sources that you can rely on and that there isn't a lot of bias in them. And that's done by fact checking, different ratings. They have created this social media chart. So once you start to get down here, we get into a little bit more of opinion. And so you just kind of have to read how these different categories are labeled. So obviously, if when you're doing your research, you want to be careful down here. They've got Fox News all the way down here, and I'm not quite sure that I 100% agree with that. However, there is unfair interpretations of the news in orange, fair interpretations of the news. You can see CNN's kind of between the two. Green is considered actual news. So when we're doing our research, it's not that you can't look up information that falls into this category. I would beware of this category. Taking note, BuzzFeed falls in here and Huffington Post. Not always super, super reliable. But it doesn't mean that some of these sites can't give you some direction. They are just not sites I would use in actual research citing MLA in my paper. You just have to be aware if you're using sources in the yellow that it contains bias and it's more interpretation. We're getting away from the analysis part. So analysis and opinion, they walk a fine line. Here we start to get into complex analysis and fact reporting. So our mission is to kind of fall into the category up here, using these resources and even being knowledgeable, because these two have a lot of opinions in them as well. Same thing with the Wall Street Journal. So just being self-aware of the fact that just because it's in print, just because it is labeled as news, does not mean that there isn't bias happening within the reporting. And so you just kind of have to be self-aware as a consumer. We're going to go into that a little bit more. But I also posted in the stream here different sites for ideas in regards to your topic. So you don't have to pick one of these specifically. I hope these kind of generate ideas for you. But you can kind of scroll through these, and the nice part is they organize them according to category. So if you're interested in technology, if you're interested in school, whatever it is you want to talk about. Now, some of these are a little out there and a little crazy, but it at least gives you a place to start. So I would scroll through these, and I'd like you to come in next week with an idea of the topic you would like to research. It's not a huge research project. We're sort of just like dipping our toes into how do we set this up? How do we do an intro, conclusion, a reminder how we cite our sources. So pick something you're interested in. We're only going to need 3 sources when this is all said and done, and we'll talk about that more next week.